Karen and
Pluto!
here for Karen and Bluto's Not Another Review channel with yet another movie review for you guys.
We're doing all good movies today.
Yeah, that's what I mean. These ones we're recording, these were all pretty enjoyable movies. I think actually all of them this one recommended.
Because I only
we
watch awesome movies. What?
Nothing. So, for our review discussion tonight is Screwballs 2, Loose Screws. From what this one told me, it really has nothing to do with the first one, other than some of the same actors in it. I think something. I've never seen any of these movies.
I forgot to tell you, Screwballs is on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it? Okay, so maybe we'll watch that.
Hopefully, it'll still be on Prime.
Yeah. So this movie is from 1985, rated R, which obviously, if you've seen this, you know why. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes. So,
I like movies that are like that.
Pretty much, I'm just, even though before I go in.
The plot is very complicated.
Yeah, the plot is basically, it's four guys trying to get laid as much as possible. So if you can follow that, you'll be able to follow this movie.
Yep.
Okay, so basically it starts at the outside of Beaver High. There are a lot of play on words and
that's creative.
Sexual innuendos in this movie.
It's creative, right?
Yeah. So basically, it's kind of like this whole little montage thing going on with a bunch of high school hijinks. And we kind of meet our four main characters, Brad, Steve, Hugh, and Marvin. I spelled Marvin's name wrong, but... So basically, it's the end of the school year, and of course, these guys are still getting into things. And the principal goes over the intercom and is basically like, I'm wishing you guys like a happy summer. Congratulations to our graduating class. And everybody can leave except for these guys. So basically, these four guys get called down to the principal's office last day of school. So while they're sitting there, the principal's going on about, this is your fourth year in 12th grade. You guys managed to have the lowest grades ever. And they're not going to graduate. He goes, but I will make an exception if you go to this school called Coxwell Academy. And basically he's saying it's a special school for their intellect. And the guys are like, special school?
But I'd rather go there than go for summer vacation, actually.
Yeah. So basically, then we cut away to this montage with the four guys driving to this school.
With a cool song playing.
Bluto loves the song that's playing.
Cool.
The one guy, Brad, has this shirt on. It says trade me. And he's going by all these female cars trying to get him to trade shirts. Eventually gets one girl to trade and she doesn't have a bra on. So you get a nice...
You would do that, right?
Boob shot. Want me to do it now?
You definitely don't want this up, do you?
So, eventually pass this school bus that's heading to this academy as well. So they kind of get there first and they're like, oh, we got to we got to do some stuff. We got to cause some chaos. So basically they go down to where the bus pulls up and basically tells the boys and the girls they need to separate, and the girls have to go they have to get medical exams. So the boys are acting like doctors. So the girls go in this one area and basically are told to strip down to their bra and panties, and one girl's like, well, I don't have a bra, and they're like, oh, we'll make an exception.
That's okay.
And the boys actually are directed, you don't know at the time, to the female staff's bathroom. And basically there's a sign in there, please strip down and wait to be seen. So, like I said, everything starts up like...
It's funny.
Marv is hiding in the closet where the girls are. He eventually gets the skeleton stuck on him that's in there, comes out, and the girls are running around naked, basically, and...
Well, holding a skeleton.
Yeah.
That's something you don't see.
And eventually the principal shows up, and it's supposed to be Principal Hardass is what I wrote. So he's kind of going on like, I don't like your type, going on about what he basically expects of them. And they're all kind of sitting there like, yeah, whatever. Meanwhile, Hugh has a video camera pretty much throughout this movie.
That's funny.
His name is Huge Erection. So basically in the next part it goes that they're all in dormitories. It's showing the girls are in with their dorm mother, I guess is the best way to put it. And she's like this old school like German type lady. And basically like they're in there smoking a joint and she takes it off of them and starts getting high while she's trying to go over all the rules. And I think she basically passes out at some point.
Really?
I don't know, because I thought at one point she was just kind of like, I'm so relaxed. So eventually our four main characters are discussing about developing a point system for tracking like who and how and what scores points over the summer. Like you get so much for going all the way with somebody. You get so much for making it like the first base. Here we go, first base again. Yeah, stuff like that.
Can you just lie?
Probably. And then also, I forgot to mention while they're in the principal's office, the new French teacher shows up, Miss Moans a lot. So basically, they said her, if anybody can get her, that she's 100-point level.
I thought it was Mona Lots.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Whatever. Play on words, like I said. So, Van Blow, that is the name of the house mother, dormitory mother, or whatever.
Yeah, I can just forget that.
She, at night, the girls are going to bed, and she's like, if there's any boys here, I will basically kill them. And, there's no boys in the girls' dormitory. And what happens is Brad basically shows up in drag.
You like that.
And claims he was running late because he needed to pack.
You thought he looked good, huh?
Yeah, so this is basically how Brad figures he's going to score. Then we cut away to Marv, who goes and joins a girls' aerobics center, aerobics class
He's
thing,
funny.
gym, whatever. Yeah, Marv's kind of a funny guy. And then they show Hugh stuffing his crotch to make it look like he's got more than what he has.
I never did that.
And then when he's walking on the boardwalk, after he walks by everybody's laughing because the tissues are falling out of his shorts. So you've heard girls stuffing their bras, he's stuffing his crotch.
I never knew a guy to do that.
Yeah, and then Steve is trying to hit on Ms. Lotz. So that's like each of their game plans at that moment. So basically we cut back to Brad still at the girls' dormitory. He ends up taking a bath with one of the girls, but she's blind without her contacts in, doesn't realize it's a dude.
That's funny.
Van Blow eventually goes to the bathroom and realizes the toilet seat was up. Because I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, the seat's up. So she's like, wait a minute, there's a boy here. And she basically finds Brad, total hijinks ensues. He eventually escapes. Steve, after class, was asking Miss Lotz for private lessons because he's going to be going to Paris next fall or something. So he goes to her house for tutoring, and she's in the shower, and she basically says to him in French, I'll be out in a couple minutes. I'm finishing my shower. Well, somehow through his interpretation, he figures, oh, she wants me to join her in the shower. Basically, he gets in the shower with her. She freaks out, throws him out of the house, and our principal friend shows up as Steve is leaving. So next day, Steve is in the principal's office. He's basically like, okay, you need a punishment for harassing the teacher. So they show him on his hands and knees with a bucket, scrubbing the floors with a toothbrush.
It's a good thing you finished that after you said on his hands and knees.
Yeah, I was finishing.
Well, it's a good thing you stopped at that.
Yeah. I just remember my dad telling me about that when he was in the military, that they did actually do that to new recruits. Anywho.
Okay.
So eventually the girls end up inviting them to this random beach party they're having.
That's important to the plot.
And it comes out to be a whole random musical number.
Because, why not?
Yeah. So, a couple of the guys end up hooking up with a couple of the girls. Then we go to Hugh, who's in the laboratory, and he creates this solution that dissolves clothes.
That's my favorite part.
So him and Marv dump it in the pool where all the girls
put it on the filter.
Yeah. Where the girls are practicing for, I don't know, water polo or volleyball or whatever.
It's a good thing they're in there.
So they go and all their clothes are gone. And they're just standing there. Well, Marv ends up getting...
They're standing there?
Marv and Hugh are standing there looking. And here, Hugh did this special thing with the trunks he gives Marv that they won't dissolve. So Marv goes in the pool and, of course, getting an eye full.
I'm glad he did
Well, then the principal eventually shows up and he's telling the girls to leave, and he eventually sees that they're naked.
He's like...
And he's just kind of eyeing them up, but he's still telling them to get out of there.
I would too.
And I don't even know if the girls fully figure out they don't have suits until they get out of the pool.
How did you not know that?
I don't know. And eventually he dives in, so I don't know if he loses his clothes or not. We don't find out.
And I'm glad we don't.
So, now we come to Brad's turn trying to hook up with Miss French teacher. Basically, Brad finds out through Marv that Miss Lot is a member at the gym he's been going to. So she gets a massage. Yeah. She gets a massage a certain day of the week. So he pays off her masseuse, whose name is Hung Lo.
Get it? That's
to
funny.
do the massage. Well, eventually she figures out it's not him. You know, he's yelling at him to get out of there and everything. The principal punishes Brad by having him write 1,000 times regarding not harassing female teachers. I think Brad got off pretty easy with that punishment.
Well, as long as he got off.
So next we cut to, Hugh and Marv at Mona's house, Miss Lott's house. They have a ladder, and basically Hugh is going to videotape.
Kind of reminds me of Animal House.
Yeah. So he goes up, climbs up the ladder. Marv is holding it, and he's out telling Marv to hold it steady while he's videotaping the teacher, and this little rinky-dinky dog comes out of the house. It scares Marv because he's like, it's attacking me, and it's this small
like
little...
Chloe.
Yeah, size of my I almost said my pit bull. Oh my God, my Shih Tzu. I don't have my pit bull anymore.
Never met him.
Well, unfortunately, he passed a few years ago. So, anywho,
on that happy note, moving on.
Yeah, on that happy note. So, but Marv basically freaks out, says the dog's trying to attack him, takes off, drops the ladder, and Hugh is usually left there. He's left there hanging, and he gets caught by the teacher, and he's going on like, I can make up a lie while I'm here, but honestly, doesn't he say I just wanted to see your boobs or something?
Something like that. That was funny.
He basically flat out tells the truth, and she slams the window on his fingers. So he falls.
That was rude of her.
And the principal happened to be showing up again.
That was so rude of her.
Yeah. So for Hugh's punishment, he has to clean every window on the school twice. So also in the middle of all this, Steve ends up getting a job at a country club, I guess the best way, teaching tennis. He was hitting on this woman that happened to be at the school the one time when they're talking about the founder.
Yeah, she's an old chick.
And eventually, he shows up at her house so they can have a little fun.
Yep.
Well, here it turns out that this lady is the principal's wife.
You didn't see that coming.
I was suspecting, but I wasn't 100% sure.
Sure you were.
But basically, she's telling them to hide because the principal came back to get something. Eventually, he climbs under the blankets with her. And the principal's trying to get her turned on, basically. And he goes and grabs what he thinks is her ass, and it's Steve's ass. And he's like, oh, your ass is as firm as it was 15 years ago.
Fine.
And he's trying to get her in the mood. And she's like, we already did it once this semester. So he leaves, and eventually Steve's like, you know what? I'm out of here. I can't do this.
I stayed.
And basically, she's trying to convince him
You don't gotta convince me.
Go on. And eventually he falls out the window, and she's like, stay there. I'll be down. We'll do it in the bushes. Well, he takes off in the middle of all this.
Why?
I don't know.
I would have stayed.
So now we have Marv's turn to try to get Miss Lott. And basically he somehow climbs into the ceiling above the girls' locker room.
That's funny, too.
He pulls out one of the ceiling towels, and he's laying there, I should say, watching. And eventually Miss Lott comes in. He's like, oh my God. And he's going on. He's talking into this walkie-talkie thing, and the other guys are listening.
That was a big guy, right?
Well, yeah.
Why would you have the fattest guy there?
I think that was part of the joke.
Yeah.
But eventually the principal catches the other three guys, is listening in. Well, then the ceiling breaks, and Marv crashes down. And basically at that point, I don't think Marv really gets a punishment, because basically it has all four of the guys in the office after this happens.
Didn't get kicked out, right?
No, not yet.
I jumped ahead.
The principal is just kind of like, okay, these are my rules. You're not allowed to do this. Your curfew's at 8:30. You're not allowed to have any contact with any more females, and you were ordered to stay away from Miss Lott. So the guys are kind of sitting in the room and kind of bitching and moaning about being bored and everything. And Brad eventually goes, screw it. We're going out of the town. So they go to this strip club called the Pig Pen, I think it was.
Something like that.
Basically, A lot of stuff ensues at this point.
Very important to the
This
plot.
one was admiring the tits and ass. So
It's important to the plot. You got to have it in there.
So eventually, at one point, all the boys are up on stage with 4 of the girls, and they had to spray them each down with 2 cans of whipped cream, and then have to lick it all off.
Important.
Well, while this is going on, the principal and Miss Lott show up there, and they're like, "Oh shit!"
That was funny.
So basically, it goes the next day that they're.
See, I told you it's important to the plot.
So basically, they get in the principal's office next day, and he's like, "That's it, you're expelled." So they're kind of all going on about, how they're not graduating college, and what are they going to do with their lives? Meanwhile, you figure at this point they're probably like 21 or 22 if they've spent 4 years in 12th grade. So eventually, they decide that they're going to get even.
Well, they had to be old enough to get in that club.
Yeah. Eventually, they just basically decide they're going to get even with everybody. So they're supposed to be having this big Founders Day celebration. And they're supposed to be unveiling this larger replica of the sculpture of their founder of the school.
Cares?
So the guys sneak in, they go under the cover and doing a bunch of stuff. And the girls
cover.
that they kind of hang with also help them out with all this. So basically, we get to the Founders Day celebration. The principal and Miss Lott are at the door. They meet the chairman, who's like the great grandson or grandson of the founder, and he's like, well, I'm expecting a lot of all this and everything. Well, the guys end up showing up dressed like girls, and they're all looking, and they're bad looking women, and they're all looking like, do I know you? They eventually get in. So hijinks starts ensuing. They end up, the principal's talking, and they're like, oh, we made this film commemorating our wonderful founder. And it ends up basically being a sex film of the principal and Miss Lott. and they're like both freaking out and everything. And then Van Blow and another teacher are on stage as well. And the chairman's like, I've never been so offended in my life. This is bull. You guys are both fired. And they're trying to like appeal and everything. And everyone's kind of like laughing hysterically. Well, then they eventually unveil the statue, and the guys did all the, I think it was more Hugh than anybody, because he's kind of like the geeky.
He's a smart, funny guy.
Yeah, the geeky one.
I hang with him.
So they have the statue like talking and blowing all this stuff, and basically they put some sort of an aphrodisiac into the statue. There's a lot of myth behind stuff like that.
Like Spanish Fly.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Gotcha.
But basically they put some sort of an aphrodisiac that the statue is emitting, and it basically turns on the 4 people on stage to the point that Miss Lott starts stripping. The other 2 females, Van Blow and the other teacher, like tackle the principal on the stage, and they're trying to get real busy with him, and everybody's in the audience laughing and everything. And then it basically just ends, like everything goes dark, and then all of a sudden all 4 of the guys are on stage and they sing into the credits. That's pretty much
awesome movie.
It was funny.
Watch it.
I'm not going to lie.
I watch only good
as
movies.
We were discussing, a lot of people say about, American Pie kind of being the first kind of movie like that.
Those movies.
And
you will not watch them.
I mean, I kind of saw that, obviously, before this, because it's my first time watching it. And I never saw Porky's till years later. So, you got earlier films that probably did it a heck of a lot better.
I saw that 1,000 times.
Yeah. But, I mean, those films, like this one and Porky's, I would watch.
And they did it better.
Yeah, that's what I said. They're better.
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear that.
Better movies.
I was too busy being shocked by you didn't watch that before me.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry, we're at the end, and I'm still...
Did they graduate?
They never really say, because it just kind of goes, they're on stage performing, and it kind of goes into the credits. And
because that's not important to the plot.
No,
if this was a movie now, they'd have to elaborate on that.
Now, like I said, literally, if you would just want to watch a pointless movie about 4 guys trying to get laid, with some comedy, you want some tits and ass.
Who doesn't?
There might be some people out there that don't.
Okay, I don't want to know them.
So, like I said, I would say it has high rewatch value.
I've seen it a lot of times.
And that is it for this review. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Bell icon so you know when we post new content. Help share the page. I'll greatly appreciate it. Amazon wishlist is posted, so if you would like to help us out with any movies for the channel, that would be appreciated. If there's something you want us to watch and you're willing to purchase it for us, I can add it. So just let me know in the comments. Check out my other channel, K-Doll Games, Toys, and More. Yeah, I lost my train of thought for toy and video game reviews. This guy pops up over there every so often as
Whatever
well.
you want me there.
And I think that's everything.
Yep.
I think that's it. We'll
Yep.
see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.